Let's begin. I've asked Ed O'Rear to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the July 14th, 2014 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as chair of the commission and represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2, and Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First item, please.
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
Questions or comments on the consent agenda?
I have no questions or comments.
Have none. Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $2,831,578.75. The highlights out of these are we have $841,368.84. That's our payroll. We have bridge projects of $43,792. We have rent that was paid for our community corrections office. That is $26,466.24. We also have our holding accounts of $577,100 and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance of $383,570, and also infrastructure to Ham Incorporated of $492,892.98. Those make up the highlights of these vouchers. I have no questions regarding them and would move for their approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook to approve the vouchers as presented, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
There are no correction orders.
Next item.
Item B, Bond Council number 1, consider approval of resolution number 2014-55, authorizing the defeasance of the single-family mortgage revenue bonds 2005 Series A-1 through A-5.
Good morning, Bob Perry. As in the past, this will authorize the defeasance of the single-family mortgage revenue bonds that are jointly issued by Sedgwick County and Shawnee County. And over the last couple of years, it's been determined that if we can get the authorization to go earlier, it kind of gives the investment bankers a little bit more bigger window in which to time the sale of the securities.
Are there questions or comments for Mr. Perry?
I have no questions.
Neither. Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the resolution by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Bob. Next item.
Item C, Health Agency number 1, consider approval of request to fill a vacant registered nurse triage position in the CHC Primary Care Program at a salary of $50,801.08, including benefits, and a request to fill any subsequent positions that result from filling this position.
Good morning, Diana Yates, Shawnee County Health Agency. As noted, this request to fill our triage nurse position that is being vacated due to retirement. This position provides triage services and health advice for patients according to our established protocols. The position also works directly with the hospitals to schedule appointments for established patients and new patients that require follow-up. The ultimate goal of this position is to assist patients in addressing their health care needs and concerns in order to reduce unnecessary trips to the emergency room and into the clinic. Gone are the days when offering a telephone nurse triage service was considered a nice to have. Instead, on-demand clinical services have become a central component of patient-centered care and patient-centered medical home. The annual salary as stated for this position is $50,801, including benefits. Funding for this position is primarily covered by grants, revenue, and some tax allocation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about this position.
Are there questions?
I might comment, thank you very much for the breakdown of what this position is. Sometimes on paper, hard to understand exactly what each position entails, and they're necessary, how their component is necessary for the operations. But thank you very much.
Agree. Move approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Bueller to approve the request, and that was seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you very much. Next item.
Item C2, consider approval of request for payment in the amount of $2,000 for safety net consultant work and authorization and execution of contract C266-2014 with the Frana Group for development of a work plan and timeline for Shawnee County Health Agency CHC operational transition.
Good morning, Commissioners. Alice Weingartner, Health Agency. This request before you is the next step in our work to change the operational structure of the Community Health Center. The Community Health Center and the community is receiving a substantial grant from the Sunflower Foundation, and the Sunflower Foundation is asking that our community partners who are participating in this initiative also make a contribution. And so the Community Health Center plans to make up to $2,000 available towards the cost of this work, with our community partners making contributions as well. I'd be happy to answer any other questions.
Questions or comments? Commissioner?
Are there contributions being made by the hospitals as well?
There are actually contributions coming from Marion Clinic, Health Access, and the Health Agency in designated amounts, and then any balance that's left, the hospitals will cover that between them. So that I can't give you a solid dollar figure for their contribution.
But this is a buy-in from all the members in the community.
Exactly, exactly.
And it is a result of the study that was done.
Part of
to
the safety net
and
report.
to perhaps transition from a county-based program to a nonprofit
That
program.
is correct.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the contract as presented. Yeah, I'm
I will
sorry,
second,
Commissioner.
but I do have a question. Alice, just give the public an idea, why would we need a consultant in
Sure.
this?
The level of work that's going to take place in this type of study is pretty extensive. There is going to have to be discussions at the county level, and there'll have to be discussions at the federal level because this is a federally funded clinic. And so having someone with that level of expertise is very important to make sure that we get all those Ts crossed and Is dotted properly, and as not to impact our receipt of those federal funds in this community.
And this is an exceedingly complex process that
Extremely
we're looking
complex.
at. I think
It
that's
is,
an important
exactly.
point to
There
make
are
also.
lots of parties within our community who
Right.
are going to be impacted by this potential change.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alice. Next item.
Item D, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider approval of an emergency repair to a solid waste truck in an amount of $14,635.26.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. As mentioned in the memo, we had one of our regular trash trucks. We received some error messages, I guess you'd say, from our network fleet diagnostic management program, and where the engine pressure was running about 2.5 times what it normally would. So we ran the diagnostics on the truck in our shop and performed a couple of repairs that normally would oftentimes be the cause of the increased pressure. Both of those items that we did repair did not resolve the issue. So at this point, we brought the truck over to Hoyt's Truck Repair because we knew it was going to be getting to a lot more labor-intensive type of work, and we are currently down a mechanic's position, and we have we have a big workload, and we couldn't afford to take that time of taking someone out of service trying to hunt down this problem. So Hoyt's did some additional investigation on it and determined that the turbo had failed along with one of the pistons, and upon further review they indicated that the wear and tear on the other pistons were at a point where it would be worth it to replace them as well, because if we just replaced the one that was completely failed, we believe that it would just be a matter of a short time before other ones would fail, and we'd be back doing the same thing again, which takes, basically taking the engine apart. So, so essentially, we were gonna have them replace the turbo and all the pistons, and that amount, as I mentioned in the memo, is $14,635.26. This, again, is one of our regular route trucks, which we use on a daily basis. The funding would come from the solid waste account, which again is not tax funded. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Other questions or comments from Mr. Blanc?
Just briefly, Mr.
Yes, Commissioner Cook.
Thank you. Tom, the cost of, we just replaced some of our solid waste trucks. And what was the cost again, to replace the trucks?
I think those were front load trucks. Those ones ran, if I recall, they were in the $225,000 range.
Okay.
And I think a new rear load truck is in the, I think the $160,000 to $170,000 range. So yeah, if what I'm getting, if I understand what I think you're getting at is, yes, and we believe that it's much more, this truck still has a lot of life left in it.
Right.
So it's worth doing this repair as opposed to just scrapping the truck.
And that's exactly where I was going. I noticed that, I mean, this is a 2010 truck, and we've already put 118,000 miles on it in less than 4 years. And so these are trucks that have a lot of wear and tear, and they're out on the roads a lot. And if $14,000 investment for a $160,000 truck, still worth it.
And you're right, these trucks do get a lot of wear and tear, a lot of wear and tear.
I would move for approval of the emergency purchase.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook to approve the emergency repair, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Tom. Next item.
Item E, Sheriff's Office, number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C 265-2014, amendment to Contract C 402-2010 with Securitas Security Services USA, Inc. for after-hours security services through December 31st, 2014, at an approximate cost of $46,557 through the remainder of the year.
Good morning, Commission. Herman Jones, Shawnee County Sheriff. What you have before you is basically just an amendment to the contract, existing contract that we had. Was brought to our attention that, for one, the existing contract had expired as of last year. It was a 3-year contract. That was brought to our attention, so by doing that, we just want to get an extension throughout the rest of the year. The cost is approximate, as we say. It's probably not going to be that much, but that's what we averaged out for what we've been averaging, about $6,500 each month there. So, and then at the same time, we've got language in there about the extension as well as the termination of that. So we put a little more information or a little more language to that.
Are there questions for the sheriff about the contract?
Sure.
Yes, Commissioner Cook.
Sheriff, does the contract extension go through our legal department, your legal department? I noticed it doesn't have the stamp on it of approved by legal. I know that seems maybe kind of minor, but to make sure that we're in compliance with any contractual provisions.
I'm not sure if it's gone through the county's legal, it's gone through our legal on that to make that square there. So we
I
can
just-
just forward that on through
I
there.
just noticed that there is not a
Sure.
stamp on it, and so.
Okay.
Do all contracts go through our legal, or, so,
Okay.
I'm saying shaking of head, so I'm gonna guess this is not one that goes through our legal counsel.
Right.
So,
Yeah, once it was transferred over to the sheriff's office there. Before it had been through the
Okay.
county, but now it's through us.
Yeah, because most contracts, we have a stamp on there, approved by our legal as to form, and
Sure.
so I didn't see it either,
Yeah.
but thanks for bringing that up, point of information.
Yeah.
Any other, Commissioner Bueller?
No, I have
questions?
none.
Okay. Motion?
I may move for approval of the contract extension.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Sheriff.
Thanks.
Next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Commissioners, Tom Blanc with Public Works and Solid Waste. I just wanted to let the public be aware, and we have sent out a media notice on this last Friday. But KDOT handles the contract for the inspection of our bridges, for a lot of, or at least for a lot of our bridges, including the Willard Bridge. And their consultant is going to be doing an inspection of the Willard Bridge this week, from July 14th through the 18th, in which they are going to restrict that bridge down to one lane. They said during daylight hours. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by daylight hours, but in the media notice I put from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. That might be a little longer than they will be out there, but I just wanted to let the folks, the people know that there will be scheduled inspection work being done on that bridge this week.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Tom. Any other administrative communications? Commissioners?
I see him coming to the podium, but
okay.
maybe kind of start by noting that Ed O'Rear is here, and he might have exactly what I'm going to talk about.
It might be. This is kind of a sad day for community corrections. The funeral for one of our juvenile officers, Steve Brown, is this morning at 10 o'clock at Topeka Bible Church. Steve came first to Shawnee County as a correction specialist at Juvenile Detention Center. He transferred over to us in the late 90s and was just an excellent juvenile officer, probation supervisor, and case manager as well. I think he touched a lot of lives. He leaves behind a wife and 7 children. And his twin brother is one of our judges, Judge Mark Brown. So he's part of a large family here at Shawnee County, and he'll be sorely missed by our department.
Commissioner Cook?
I had the opportunity to work with Steve on many levels,
Right.
both in the impact he has had on lives of the community, youth. I worked with him in that capacity with youth. Often he was working with children that are maybe juvenile offenders, or they're headed down the wrong path in life, and he would take that extra time and take that moment to really sit down and talk with them about choices they'd made. And so I know that his impact will be felt across the community. So.
Thank you, Commissioner. You know what, I've got some notes here, but I don't think I can match Ed and Commissioner
Yeah.
Cook's eloquence, so I'm not going to say anything.
Just our sympathies to his
Yeah,
family.
our sympathies
yeah.
to his family and.
Absolutely.
coworkers.
I'll pass that along this morning
Okay,
to them.
okay.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much, Ed.
Thank you.
Did you have anything else, Commissioner, that you wanted to talk about?
There might be a fiesta this week. I mean, as we switch from a sad note or solemn note to a joyous note, but there might be a fiesta this week, so I would encourage everybody to turn out to Oakland and celebrate, and encourage everybody to enjoy the atmosphere of the fiesta. We should have some nice weather, as opposed
For a
to
change.
Yeah, it's going to be
Exactly.
beautiful. And Sunflower State Games are in town as well.
Yep,
So,
that's right. Anything, Commissioner?
no.
The only thing I wanted to add is, today, we have budget hearings as follows. At 10 o'clock, the appraiser. At 11 o'clock, community corrections. At 1:30, our IT department. At 2:30, the expo center. Tomorrow, we have at 9 o'clock, the weed department. At 10, Parks and Recreation. At 11 o'clock, Public Works. And then in the afternoon session, Community Resources Council at 1, Safe Streets at 1:30, Keep America Beautiful at 2, and our Drug Court at 2:30. So that's the agenda for the next few days,
That's, so Monday and then Wednesday.
Monday and Wednesday.
Okay. Jane's,
Did I miss something?
Well, did you say community corrections at 11, because we actually put human resources into their slot?
Okay. Community Resources was at 1 on Wednesday. Is that
Okay.
HR now?
No, that's correct then.
Okay.
I would,
11
Huh?
o'clock today.
right.
Well, you guys just keep changing things all the time. This is, all right.
This was to accommodate Ed, because he was going to the
Oh,
funeral.
okay,
Right.
okay.
Right.
All right, so, then we have instead of community corrections, we have HR at 11 this morning. So, okay. Thank you for, I stand corrected. Next item, please.
Item 6, executive sessions.
I don't think there's a need, so we are adjourned. She worked with Steve.
Yeah, yeah,
Good guy.
yeah, very good guy. You wouldn't have known that he was Judge Brown's brother at all. They are night and day.